I've noticed that there's 5 reasons people miss putts, and today we're gonna fix all 5 of those in one lesson. All right, let's get started. Number 5, we don't aim the putter correctly. I know it sounds too basic, but let's talk about how do we get this putter face aimed correctly of where we want the ball to start. Well, the first thing that you could do is simply align your golf ball. So every golf ball that's made these days has a particular line or the company name on it. So I've got a Titleist golf ball right here, and on the side, they've actually put arrows on there. So it says AVX and it's got some arrows. So the first thing that you can do to help improve your aim is to simply take the arrows, for example on the Titleist, and point them directly where you want the golf ball to start. Now that's the key thing right there. Point the arrow where you want the ball to start. This putt right here breaks slightly from the right to the left. So the arrow is pointed maybe 3 or 4 inches to the right side of the cup. Now, the next thing that you can do then is to take your putter. Now, almost every putter has got a line on it. Today I got the G-Track. We love this putter right here because it can literally fix a lot of different things. We're going to talk more about that later, but it's got a line on the top, a white line. It's got 2 red lines on the backside. Your putter's probably got something similar. So now that I've got the arrows pointed 3 or 4 inches to the right of the cup, because it's going to break right to left, I can take the white line, coordinate it, align it up with the line on the ball, go ahead and get set in, make the stroke, and what do you know? Kind of Nick, give a thumbs up right there. We made that on the first try, I promise you. That's the first tip I want to give you. Number 5 is get the putter aimed correctly. That's how you can do it. All right, number 4. Now the biggest reason that golfers miss putts to the right or push putts is because the putter face does not return to a square position. So you can do a couple different things. You can feel the toe release, you can do a lot of different things. But with the G-Track, I can literally just move the shaft slightly back. So I'm going to move the shaft back to the T0 position. Now the G-Track is an adjustable putter. Now you can also look for putters, okay, if you don't have a G-Track, you can look for a putter where the shaft is more towards the back like it is here in the T0 position. Now when the shaft is in the back, what that does is it helps the face square up just a little bit. So let me go ahead and roll one here. So I've moved it back to the T0 position, or I found a putter where the shaft is towards the back of the putter face. And as I go ahead and swing that through, okay, now I hit that pretty good, but you can see it release just a little bit. So number 4 is we push putts. We push putts because the putter face is not returning back to a square position. You can feel a little bit more release of the toe closing over, or you can get a putter, okay, like the G-Track or another one, where the shaft is actually towards the back or movable towards the back. Number 3 is pulling putts, meaning a right-handed golfer pulls them to the left. Now you know already, because you've learned some of the stuff here, that when we miss putts generally to the left, assuming we're aimed correctly, remember that's why we started with that the putter face is returning to a closed position. That means that the toe is getting into a closed position. The toe is getting to the ball before the heel is. All right, so if that's the case, I'm gonna find a putter, or like with the G-Track, I'm gonna move the shaft forward all the way to the T2 position, or I'm gonna look for a putter that's got that already built in. So with the putter shaft more forward or towards the face, like you can see right here, that makes it more difficult to square the toe, meaning more difficult for the toe to close. It keeps the heel leading a little bit. So let me go ahead and make a putt right here. Okay, and then I'm gonna give you another tip that you can do in your stroke if you tend to pull putts. So instead of changing my stroke, I just moved the shaft forward, which makes it more difficult for the toe to release. Okay, I could feel that right there. Now I made that. God, that was a good putt. This thing comes off the putter so nice. If you don't want to switch putters, or you have a putter that's adjustable and you feel like you're still missing to the left because the toe is closing over, when you come through, just feel like your lead side holds it off a little bit, okay? Feel like the lead side just kind of holds it, or the palm, okay, works a little bit this way versus rotating over. Number 2, okay, is distance control. People miss putts because they're short or they're long. Now the biggest reason that we struggle with distance control is because we do not deliver the proper loft to the golf ball. So believe it or not, every putter, including the G-Track or whatever putter you're using, has loft built into it. Okay, typically that can be 3 or 4 degrees. All right, specific with the G-Track, we went with 2 degrees because most golfers, most amateur golfers, tend to add loft to the putter. So one of the first things that I always look for as a coach, if somebody's struggling with distance control, is are they adding loft to the putter? And the most common answer is yes. So if that's you, if you're struggling with distance control, here's what I want you to do. In the setup position, I want you to make sure that the butt end of the club is a little bit forward, or almost feel like the butt end of the club is on the front side of the golf ball. Now when you move the butt end of the club forward towards the front side of the golf ball, that's going to slightly de-loft the putter, okay? If we're struggling with distance, we're probably adding loft, so we can offset some of that by simply taking the butt end of the putter and moving it a little bit forward. Now this is one of the reasons also why longer putters are becoming more popular, because in this longer shaft with a longer grip, I can actually move that butt end towards my lead form and almost kind of lock it in. Now when I lock it in, that kind of locks in the loft. So let me go ahead and roll a putt here. So I'm struggling with distance control. I'm going to take the butt end of the putter. I'm going to move it forward so the butt end is towards the front of the golf ball. I'm going to go ahead and roll it. And I could tell I caught that one just a tad on the toe. Toe closed over a little bit, missed on the left side. Number one, the most common reason people miss putts, I hate to even say this word, the yips, okay? We've experienced it, we've seen it, or we felt it. Whatever it is, we know it when we see it. Now the yips come from a variety of reasons, and this putting tip, this video is not just about the yips, but what can you do if you're struggling with the yips? Now generally speaking, a yip is when there's extra movement on the putter face right at the moment of impact. So the stroke looks nice and smooth, and then right at the moment of impact, there's extra movement. So here's what you can do. If you have a putter that has a longer shaft, I've got the G-Track again, I've mentioned that a couple times already, okay, but any putter, you can do this with any putter, take your lead arm and just go ahead and slightly move it down the shaft. Now when you move it down the shaft, I want you to go ahead and lock it in with your forearm, right? So you can see this from down the line right there. As I move my hand down the putter shaft, it locks into my forearm. Now if I keep that locked in there, okay, then the putter head will only move when my arms move and my shoulders rock. If we've got the yips, we have excessive hand motion, wrist motion at the moment of impact. So number one, if you're struggling with the yips, what I want you to do is go ahead, move the lead hand down a little bit so you're locked in, keep it locked in, and go ahead and swing your arms and rock your shoulders, okay? And what you'll notice is that the putter stays nice and smooth. Now that we've fixed those 5 problems, let's be more consistent with this next video.